Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mahindra Lukka. This channel is all about how to break into data science. Let's welcome Anudeep Sri. He's one of my friends. I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, hello everyone, whoever is watching. I am Anudeep Sri Bathina. So I have 6 years of experience in driving data towards insights. I have done my PGP with Great Learning with the help of Great Lakes. Major focus was on big data and machine learning. While I was working, it was a part-time program. And then I started mentoring IT employees who wanted to transform their careers into AI. And yeah, there were many successful stories of my mentees who had made a transition. And currently I'm pursuing masters in computer science from University of Massachusetts. And I am basically from the background of electrical. I did my undergraduation in Tripoli. And then I joined the company Cognizant, which is a service-based IT company. And I was handling relational databases and cloud. And then I made a transition as big data developer after my PGP course. And then I worked as a tech lead in Capgemini, where I handled a team of 11 for data engineering and data science. And then finally I came for masters.
Awesome. So you transitioned from electrical engineering to data science, is that correct?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yep. So what are the challenges you faced, while moving from electrical to data science? What are difficulties faced?
Most of the electrical subjects are regarding the calculations with respect to motors and all that stuff. At least easily people would have a little bit of coding with respect to microprocessors, but we did not have such exposure. So as far as my placement was concerned, I joined right after my BTech into Cognizant, and I was trained on database management. So database management is essentially about handling the data. Since it was about handling the data, there was no much programming that is ought to be done. It's basically handling the data using SQL. SQL is structured query language, where we query the database so as to extract the data, or else do certain operations on the database like inserting the data, etc., etc. So it was smooth transition, I would say, into the field of data, and then picking up things was little bit easy as I slopped into this industry through an easier aspect called database management. From there, I built my profile onto the cloud. So data in cloud has little bit of complexities, and then from there I got the interest about big data and machine learning, as the data we are using has enormously increased in terms of volume, and all of us wants to have a real-time feedback with the data we have. So with the invent of AI, with the advent of lot of computational power, so data science was trending back in 2017, 2018. So I started doing my PGP program, and there is where I was introduced to Python programming. So there starts this struggle basically.
Got it. You did your PGP, like even though you are in data science, like working on databases and all, you did a PGP course. So what made you to choose a PGP course in data science, even though you're working in same industry?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the kind of data industry is pretty huge. So when I say data scientist, I want everyone who is listening to observe that scientist means a lot in that terminology, which means you need to know end to end of everything with respect to data. How do you extract it? How do you pre-process it? And how do you put it into a machine learning algorithm? So though I am in the data field, it is difficult for me to catch up with the big data aspect and also the machine learning aspect within a stipulated time of 1 year. It would have taken much more time if I had to do it by myself, given the work pressure that we would have without any proper structure of a program. if we do by ourselves, it will be like, okay, today I'll do certain stuff, and there's a high chance that I'll miss out on that. So I thought I should do it in a structured manner and a time confined manner. That was my thought process in choosing a
Got it.
PGP program, and that too I gave it a lot of thought. I mean, most of you would relate. So once we are done with BTech with 1 or 2 years of experience, we want to go for MBA. So
Yes.
I was actually looking for degrees that would boost my career. That's what was my intention. And then I understood the market, and MBA is just fading out because of it became redundant, and it also needs nowadays all the MBA graduates needs to know a basic data analysis. Without that, they are not qualified now. So
True.
yeah, so data is penetrated into every industry.
Your idea of getting a structured way of learning and time bound is really great, I would say. So even though lot of friends, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are in non-tech backgrounds, like in civil industry, mechanical, and many more. So even they also want to transition into data science. And first question is to what all courses are available, and will they provide any placements? So what would you suggest them to like just give some awareness to them about what are courses available in India
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah, so I have a long answer for this. So
Mm-hmm.
to start with, being a person who is not an IT person, will I be able to become a data scientist? That would be the first question that anyone would be having it in mind. So yes, because as I just said, even an MBA graduate should know data analysis, because his decisions should be calculated rather than intuitive. In the same way, let's say if I'm a civil engineer and I'm trying to con- uh, calculate something and construct, let's say I'm trying to get a gist of how can I construct a house. So
Yes.
you do certain calculations there. Maybe there you can include some data analysis or data science in your field that you're working, so that you can make a better decision, better
Mm-hmm.
confident decision. So
Mm-hmm.
also, let's say for electrical industry, there's this windmills that you can set up for generation of
Mm-hmm.
electricity. So there's a certain calculation that is there in setting up a windmill, because the kind of winds that were there in that area, how it is flowing, in which angle should the windmill should be set up, all these are very costly affairs, and you would need a proper calculation and prediction to go ahead. So what I'm trying to convey is data is everywhere. It's
Yes.
with every field, so everyone has to learn this data science for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If not today, definitely tomorrow. So that is my first point. Second point, now you got to, now if you're convinced to do some program in data science, where would you go is the question. Now there are multiple choices that you can take up there. I mean, there are freely available resources where
Mm-hmm.
I told you people like me can't do.
Yes. Yes.
So if anyone is like very studious and firm on their life, if their lifestyle is such a way, then they can go ahead and choose the free resources. Second
Mm-hmm.
thing is these kind of part-time degrees, they help a lot, they boost a lot. um,
Mm-hmm.
let's say great learning with whom I was associated.
Mm-hmm.
Let me elaborate how my experience, so that we can relate with the others that are
Mm-hmm.
available.
Mm-hmm.
Great learning programs are online, and in the whole week you would be watching videos at your own pace, and in the weekends you would have a mentoring sessions wherein
Mm-hmm.
the mentors who are in the industry like me, or someone who is working in the field of big data, machine learning, data science field, they would conduct session. They would try to explain the same concepts that are there in an academic way during the week that we would follow, are being dealt by the mentors in an industry perspective. So if you would practice data science and get certain accuracy of 90%, in an industry perspective, that's not the case. So you would have to understand those differences. So that gives you an perspective of industry through these mentoring sessions. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one point. That's how a whole week goes when you enroll a program in great learning. And with
Mm-hmm.
respect to placements, one thing we all have to agree is that this is not something like BTech where we have a placement cell that will help us to get us placed and we would get a placement for sure, because we are looking at an trending topic that we are learning and we are trying to crack a job. It's not an easy affair. It's not that easy for the companies to take you in. Also, I want everyone to keep this in mind. The data is very crucial for any industry, for any company that you're working for, and they wouldn't want their data in the place of those who can't play with it.
Yes.
So the ones who can play with it should show their mettle to the companies in the interviews. So we would have to work for that, and we would have to nourish all the required skills. Let's say Python programming with respect to dealing with the data, the libraries around the dealing with the data, the critical thinking that should go in, the thought process of the framework of data science, applying it on the problem statement. All these stuff you need to work it out, practice, and make sure that you are confident. That way you can crack a job. Number one. How these degree would help is that, so Great Learning has a job board. They keep sending vacancies that are available to all the participants who are attending. So it's up to you to bring up your resume, showcase your resume in a data oriented manner. So if I am a civil engineer and if I am trying to apply to a data science job, I wouldn't understand if you say, I am working on fluid mechanics or something. I'm just giving an example.
Yes.
So it should look like something you are also working on your data at the same time when you're talking about your civil engineering terminology.
Yes.
So building your resume is one part, shaping it related to the position is what is needed. That is step one. So once you go to the interview, there you can showcase your mettle that you had learned with the program. So this is the procedure, and apart from this, you need to build up your own portfolio in the field of data science. So it's a huge process. I wouldn't say 6 months you're gonna be data science. That's a lie.
Yeah, that's my next question actually. So the importance of portfolios, and yeah, I think you're there. So what all things, or what all projects you have done other than your coursework in Great Learning? Like, is there any, how did you build your portfolio? What are all avenues and what are projects you have done?
So the projects that were given are quite good. Their quality is very good. They take us from zero to they level up after each week. So I thoroughly enjoyed the projects, doing the projects, and also learned it. So once my curriculum is over, I will have the whole idea of how to deal with a new data set. All these are like synthesized data sets. They're very clean. So we need to understand that in the real-time scenario, we wouldn't get the clean data. Now, to play around, we have to take up data sets in Kaggle and start working on it. So Kaggle is a website where they would, provide us the data and some Spark kernel so that we can interact using Python. So Kaggle, building up Kaggle profile and then building up GitHub profile, apart from this curriculum and the degree that you get from attending the curriculum, will be obviously sought by the companies. So first they'll ask, when you apply for a data science job, they would look at whether you tried Kaggle. Also, they would look at whether you had tried something and built an end-to-end project. So let me tell you. Now, if I have a data science project and if I try to put it in a front end, something, a basic normal HTML website, that would grab a lot of attention when compared to playing around with only the Jupyter notebook. So how are you leveling up by year is what they would see. So getting into a curriculum, completing it, following those projects, and then building Kaggle profile and then building GitHub profile. If we do all this, then there's a high chance that we would grab the attention of recruiters.
Got it. Yep, makes sense, completely makes sense. Even, I'm a civil engineer who transitioned from civil to, data science. Even I did the same, built some portfolios and draw parallels from my existing civil experience and
Exactly.
showcasing it. I have done the data work in my past workplace. Yeah, that's how it went. I think it's perfect. So moving on, how important is mentorship during your course? Yes, great learning has this mentorship opportunity. Let's say if a person who joins in other course, not
Any
into
other?
great
Yeah,
learning,
yeah,
any other course, so they might not have. So
yeah.
how would you tell the importance of mentorship program or mentorship in this data science world?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say my experience, so that I guess that's a wise approach as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Two ways of getting a mentor. One, on LinkedIn, you get to see people who are offering help. You get to see people who are trying to continuously give you the content regarding the artificial intelligence or data science. So by connecting with such people and asking help will always help. So
Mm-hmm.
when you go ahead and try to approach someone and say, hey, I'm interested, I'm already learning this, and I would like to know your perspective on how you deal with the data. Let's say they are
Mm-hmm.
approaching a data scientist in a particular company. Can you tell me about what tools you are using? Like that,
Mm-hmm.
build a conversation with those data scientists, and try to build up conversation and try to get some idea on how a real-time scenarios, all the real-time scenarios they are solving, the tools they are using. That is one way of dealing with it. Also, it's not like, I would say, like when we spoke about portfolio, building a portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
it's a 2 year or 3 years of affair that we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do. I wouldn't say you shouldn't be applying jobs. You should start applying jobs and talk to
Mm-hmm.
the technical managers who interview you. It's okay to fail in an interview, but
True.
ask questions. So they'll give you a chance to talk to them. Then you ask them,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing in your company? How are you playing with the data? What is your source for the data? What tools are you
Mm-hmm.
using to extract the data? And how are you imbibing this data science in your day to day activity? When you
Mm-hmm.
ask such questions, they will sit and tell you. So one of my experience, one of the CTO interviewed me. He talked a long time about what they're doing in the company. They're running video analytics on top of ads. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that, they try to generate the sentiment analysis, how the ad is, whether it is doing
Mm-hmm.
well or it's not doing well. So such things that will help you to understand how
True.
the businesses are working, and how should we prepare ourselves to work in such companies. So
True.
these two are the wise approaches of getting the knowledge on how industries are working.
True, true. Yeah, I can, resonate to your answers. When I came to masters and during my, job search process, I reached out to a lot of LinkedIn friends who are in data world. So when I shared my resume with them for a resume review, I removed my civil experience. So they did ask me like, are you a fresher? And then I explained my all my day-to-day work life in my past work experience, which is in civil engineering. So then the immediate answer, or the immediate response from them is like, you're already doing data work, so then why are you removing it, right? So when we talk with people who are already in data science world, it would really help us to understand even more of our past work, or what they are
Exactly.
doing, and yeah, that will be really helpful. Yes.
Yeah, when you're talking about your experience, I just wanted to add one. So the good point about having a mentor is he or she would definitely try to help you with the past experience also. How do you frame your past experience is also very vital. So a mentor can do that job. Apart from what I told after listening to you, I forgot to mention this
True,
point.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, so a lot of my friends who reached to me regarding this data science course, the most important question they're asking me is, will they start from zero? So let's say a person have some 4 or 5 years of experience and currently a manager in some construction field. If they move into data science, will they start from zero, or will this 5 years of experience will be completely
Yeah.
wasted? Or
So that's the point, right? So to put it a straightforward answer, if I'm working in a civil engineering firm that has 5 years of
Mhm.
experience, and I start up with the data science. I learn data science. So there should be some other civil engineering company that is employing data science in their company. Let me give
Mm-hmm.
you an example. Let's say I'm a mechanical engineer, for
Mm-hmm.
example, and I learned data science. I have 5 years of experience and I learned data science. Now there is Mercedes Benz offering a data science position. Now Mercedes Benz, what it does, it manufactures cars and it would need a mechanical engineer. So
Yes.
your mechanical engineering knowledge and data science engineering knowledge is needed in that job description. There should be some mention of, obviously they wouldn't give a data science job to a fresher, that is for sure,
Yes.
because certain experience is needed to keep the secrets, because when you play with the data, it is giving certain insights about the company, so they would expect certain professional experience. So your 5 years of mechanical engineering experience plus your data science knowledge will be valued, and when you prove your metal in the interview, that job is yours.
To reiterate, it's like, adding domain knowledge to the data makes
Oh
clear sense,
yes.
makes true sense to the company.
Another point is that if you're trying to come into an IT services company as a data scientist, you will be treated as fresher.
Yes.
So my point is, if you're a civil engineer, look into a civil engineering company that is hiring a data scientist.
Yes.
That way, your experience will be valued.
Yes.
That's my whole
Yep.
point.
True. That's why, the transition will be
Smooth.
little easier and
Yes.
smooth. Yes. So it's like, like let's say civil engineering, then they're moving into supply chain, which are, parallel branches or, parallel areas. Yeah. So when you did your PGP, right? So you must have done some research about different
Prestige
different
or
institutions or,
yeah.
available. So what would you say? Like there are institutions like Upgrad, Simply Learn, and many more. So brief differences.
Yeah.
And
So I know when we have to choose a course, we will be little confused with the lot of options that we have. The best thing that anyone could do is to first define what we need. For example, for me, a program which is time confined and which was nearly available. I don't want it to do it online personally, so I went and saw programs that would accommodate me physically on weekends, because I want my job to be there, and it should be nearby my home, and it should also give value to my resume. See, I have done my undergraduate in VAT University. I want the next step PGP program to be equally or greater than the range of VAT. So that was what my criteria that I defined for myself. Similarly, what is your criteria? Are you looking for an online program? If it is an online program, what offerings that these institutes are given, and how much value is being given by the working class to that particular university and that particular certificate? For example, let's say Great Learning. There are many people who have done the course by now and already working. Based on the way they work, the managers, the recruiting managers will have an idea, okay, these people who are coming out of Great Learning are doing well. Then they would have such thoughts in their mind. So that matters a lot, isn't it? Just because someone is offering some new program, they wouldn't take risk. Basically, the companies are never going to take risk with respect to the people who are dealing with the data. So the reputation matters a lot for sure. Yeah, alumni reputation, and also the university, the offering, that the certificate, the certification of that particular institute also matters. Apart from that, curriculum. Now, let's say you don't want to engage yourself in your weekends with the mentoring sessions. I mean, you are fine. You wanted to pursue it by your own. So you go ahead and take those programs which are offering you to learn data science at your own pace. So categorize your way of learning the program and then go for such an offering. That is what I would say at the end. I know it's quite confusing to understand. So they offer generally customer care, so as to talk to them. So go ahead and call them and explain your profile. So data science is very customized for each person. It can't be generalized.
Yes.
So that's why you will have to call them and talk to them. Hey, see, this is my profile and I wanted to learn this. Can you help me understand how much your course would benefit me? Talk to them.
True.
And
Mm-hmm.
because in Great Learning, I had received many calls like this. So
Mm-hmm.
there were certain IT employees who have 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, 6 years of experience, who wanted to venture out to this course. And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, we don't know what's in there and we don't know what is the procedure. We want to talk to someone who had been through all this. So
Mm-hmm.
Great Learning sales team used to ask me, not just me, I mean, some of them have reached out to
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
and I did speak to them. So how would I advise is based on the other person's profile, what he had come all along and what he want to get. Based on that, we should suggest them. We should not say, "Ki, you come join in Great Learning." Not like that, right?
True.
So
Yep.
there are multiple stuff and I mean multiple institutes, and it depends on you on what you want.
Yeah. So to summarize all our discussion, so everyone should draw their parallels from their existing experience and bring the data part from it, and pick a course which suits best to their situations. Build a portfolio, work with mentors, and that's how you transition it.
Yeah.
Yep. So thanks a lot, Anudeep,
No problem.
for nice
Have a
meeting you.
good night.
Yep.
I hope everyone who is watching this had some good pointers to take away and all of you succeed in your careers. All the very best.